Welcome to AGC Talks event. AGC Talks event is a little bit like a TED Talk. In a short while, we will have a timed 15-minute talk that is motivational, educational, and inspirational, followed by questions and answer time with our speaker. My name is Les Hill. I am an integrity coach. I work with businesses around their integrity, accountability, structures for fulfillment, and one thing that a lot of coaches don't work with that I love to work with is grace. So I am welcoming you today, and I am looking forward to telling you a little bit about AGC and what it is. So thank you for being here, and I am now going to share with you a little bit more about our PowerPoints today and to tell you a little bit about AGC Talks. It's a global network organization. This is an opportunity, and it has been brought to you by Travis Sims. Click you off and share something that I got over Christmas. Unbelievable. Look at this. And not only does it have AGC logo on it, but look at this. Les Hill wrote on it. These are amazing opportunities to get your promotions and all of the types of things, a little bit of swag for you and your client.
Thank you, Les, for that introduction. It's great to be here with you guys. Is that me on the computer? Man, do I look fat? Holy cow, I look like the Pillsbury Doughboy. Why'd I wear the shirt? Why did I sign up to do this presentation? Why did I get this Simon Cowell haircut? Nobody wants to be a Simon Cowell. Man, am I stupid? Is that you? That used to be me. You see, the negative thoughts that used to go through my mind, well, no, still go through my mind, would paralyze me to the point where I couldn't function normally. Growing up, the saying in our house were kids are to be seen and, the rest, not heard. I really didn't have an opportunity to express my thoughts or opinions growing up. And right before I turned 14, my father passed away from cancer. My uncle, who owned a bar and a restaurant in a town not that far away, would take me in and have me work at his restaurant, and he would often tell me how I wouldn't amount to anything. So growing up, I had a lot of negative thoughts and emotions that were going through my mind. So how did Don't Negatize Positize come to be? Well, several years ago, I was at a Toastmasters club and I was giving a speech on attitude. And at the end, I wanted to say, don't be negative. However, it came out, don't negatize. The saying threw me off my game and I stood there not knowing how to proceed when all of a sudden one of the members said, positize. So, the saying was born, don't negatize, positize. So when you hear that saying, don't negatize, positize, what does it mean to you? I know what it means to me, and although it doesn't surprise me, I hear so many different opinions on it. We all know people who are negative all the time. When you ask them how they are, they typically say, oh, well, I'm okay, or things could be better, or my favorite, life sucks and then you die. I don't even know how to respond to that. So how many of you heard the saying positive attracts and negative detracts? I don't agree with that saying. Now let me explain. Positive does indeed attract, but I think negative also attracts. As I said, my father died a few months before I turned 14, an age where a young boy needs a father figure in his life. My mother, God bless her heart, she did the best job that she could to raise me. But I think that my father's passing instilled some fear into her life because she wouldn't allow me to grow as a young child. For example, sports, out of the question. I could get hurt. Going hunting, I could get shot. Riding a motorcycle or a snowmobile, I could fall and break something. This constant overprotection was starting to really make me mad. And at this young age, I reacted the only way I knew how. It started out small. I'd go out with friends and I'd tell my mother I'd be home at a certain time and I wouldn't show up until about an hour later. Then, as I got older, I started skipping school to hang out with friends. I started going to parties. I started drinking. At this point, my mother and I were no longer friends. We were enemies. The more she tried to punish me, the more I retaliated. The people that I attracted and were attracted to were not positive influences in my life. As a result, I ended up dropping out of school. I wasted my early years partying, drinking, doing drugs, getting into fights because the pain of getting hit was easier to handle than the pain that I was feeling in my heart. My negative thoughts and feelings were attracting people that were not positive influences in my life. Looking back many years later, I realized that negative thoughts do attract negative experiences. So, what happened that changed the course of my life? Well, that's easy. And there's a saying you might have heard, some of you might have heard this saying: your friends are like elevators. They'll either take you up or they're going to bring you down. I took a good look at the people that I was hanging around with, and I realized that they were not taking me up. I needed to make a change in my life, and if I didn't, I was either going to end up in jail or dead. So I packed up my stuff and I moved to Dallas. I spent 4 years in Texas and a year traveling around the country. Eventually, I moved back to Minnesota and rebuilt my relationship with my family. And the following year, met my future wife. For those of you who were here last month, you met my wife. She is the most positive person that I know. And her positivity started rubbing off on me. And although I didn't know it at the time, I started to believe in myself and positive things started to happen. I went back to school. I got my GED. I continued my education. And I got married. But those negative thoughts still lingered in the background. Because I grew up with those thoughts and emotions, I struggled with self-confidence. I had low self-esteem. I battled depression, and it affected my work and my marriage. Negative thoughts and feelings can also have a major impact on your health. You already know that getting upset or angry raises your blood pressure, and in a worst case scenario, can precipitate a heart attack or a stroke. Dr. David Suzuki wrote in his book, The Sacred Balance, that condensed molecules from breath, and I'm going to read this so I don't get it wrong. Condensed molecules from breath exhaled from verbal expressions of anger, hatred, and jealousy contains toxins. Accumulated over 1 hour, these toxins are enough to kill 80 pigs. Now, I don't know how he did this, and personally, don't ask. Personally, I think he should be, Animal Humane Society should be contacted. But if that's true, can you imagine the harm that you're doing to your body when you stay within negative emotions? Now, I'm sure all of you also know that positive emotions can lower your blood pressure and risk for heart attack. Dr. Barbara Fredrickson illustrated that when stressed people watch a movie that left them feeling amused and content, it led quicker to heart function. Other studies have shown that just getting a simple touch from a friend on your hand, or just a simple act of petting your favorite animal, can lower your blood pressure. One of my favorite ways to relieve when I'm feeling stressed is I listen to music. I love listening to piano music. It just calms me down right away. You see, happiness is an antidote to rage. Optimism can be an antidote for for fear and cynicism. Joy is the opposite of misery. And humor diffuses a desire for vengeance. Positive and negative emotions can't exist at the same moment in time. It's impossible. It's like light and night and darkness. You can't exist at the same time. Embracing one negates the other. So the next time you find yourself feeling negative, angry, upset, sad, try replacing that with positive feelings and see what happens. Think about something that makes you laugh. Think about someone that you really enjoy, or an activity that excites you. What I like to do, if I have a few moments, I'll get on YouTube and I'll watch a funny little short snippet of something that brings me pleasure. Negative thoughts can also have a huge impact on your success. So I'm in sales, and imagine this. Imagine arriving up to your prospect and thinking, why am I here? He's not going to buy from me. He doesn't need the products or service that I offer. Yeah, he's probably busy and he doesn't really want to talk to me. Plus, I don't know, I'm not feeling all that great today. I'll come back another day. Does that sound familiar? Yeah. This isn't easy to overcome, these thoughts and feelings. And a lot of times you don't even realize the negative thoughts that go through your mind. You have to make a conscious effort to overcome those thoughts. And at first, it can be exhausting. I remember when I first started this, by the middle of the day, I needed to take a nap. Now, this part, you'll have to take it slow because if you don't, it's going to drive you crazy. Don't get frustrated if you realize that you've got negative thoughts or emotions going through your mind. Remember, you've been conditioned for years and you're constantly being bombarded through the media, and it's not going to change overnight. Here are a few things that I implemented immediately to make a change in my life. Number one, quit watching the news. Have you really paid attention to all the stories that they cover? 90% is negative and it's all fear-based. Number two, stop reading the newspaper. Same reason as number one. So a good example, back in November, the Star Tribune ran an article about how the Minnesota had a budget surplus this year. But don't worry, next year there'll be a deficit. Number three, now I might get a lot of raised eyes on this one, but listen, just hear me out. Get off of social media. Get off of Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. Now, like I said, before you jump down my throat, let me clarify. If you're using social media for business or for work, by all means stay on it. But don't allow yourself to be sucked into all the propaganda, political propaganda BS that we all know is on those sites. Number four, stop hanging around negative people. You all have that friend that just sucks all the life energy out of you. Sometimes you have to make that tough decision to let them out of your life or limit your time with them. Number five, start your day out by reading positive, motivational, inspirational material. I like to start my day out by watching inspirational things on YouTube. It's a great way to begin your day. Number six, exercise. Go for a walk. Exercise relieves stress. Now, if all this fails, or you simply find it too hard to remember, just remember this one simple phrase. Don't negatize, positize. Thank you.
Can you hear me now, Roman? Do me a wave. Excellent. So we're now on the question and answer. So I had the microphone, and I was in the background for the whole first part of this when we went through, and so they got a silent introduction all the way up to you, Roman. You were the first thing they heard, so it was beautiful.
Okay. All right.
Luckily, I was pretty.
Gotta love it.
So let's see here. We've got Tammy. She says she could see and hear. So it was very interesting. And then here's a quote from Don Sims. You are what you surround yourself with.
That's right.
Mark Skipper here. Roman is the man.
Love you, Mark.
And getting positive thoughts. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So let's start with a question here. My parents always told me you're known by who you run with.
Yep. I agree. Early on in my life, I was not surrounded by positive people.
And Travis again said you're a product of the 5 people that you spend the most time with.
That's why I try to hang around you less.
Well, I'm showing how much of a novice I am today. So Christy Lee Schroeder Thompson, she's live in Cottage Grove. Her late husband died at age 39, and it was partially due to stress created by a few of his childhood family members.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Christy. My sympathies for you.
Here we go. We have Kim Meredith. Great reminders. Thank you. All right. So let's take a moment here and refresh this and get some questions. Love this. So Roman, what would you say are a couple things to support people in, we start out at a very young age being told no, right? What are some of the things that you would say are a good way to be responsible for hearing that stuff? Like, what would you do now as an adult if you suddenly were to bump into somebody?
I understand that growing up as a children need to have limitations, and you do have to say no to them often. However, if I was to have a child, which I don't, but if I were to have kids, I think what I would do is, even though I'm going to tell them no, I would explain to them the reason why I'm telling them no, so that they grow up knowing the reasons. Instead of just saying, no, you can't do this, give them a specific reason as far as why they can't do that. I think it'll grow. They will grow up with a healthier self-esteem. And I think they'll be able to understand boundaries better as they get older.
Stephanie here says, I run from negative people now.
Stephanie, so do I. I try to keep negative people out of my life.
All right, here's a great question from Sean Wade. Roman, what type of results have you seen in business going to such a positive mindset?
That's an excellent question, Sean. Thank you for that. My results, when you're positive, you exude a different type of energy. You really do. And people, when they feel that energy, they want to be surrounded by positivity. So in my business, I find that it actually attracts more people to me. Because I do have a more positive outlook. I also have positive thoughts as far as what my results are going to be. Positivity attracts. So when I have positive thoughts about my endeavors in my life, they tend to come true. Not all of them, but a majority of them.
Positive energy is so powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Yeah. So what would you say, because you had started off, and this is kind of one of my fun questions for you, Roman. You had started off by saying, Vitalia is always like the powerhouse of positivity in the room.
She is. I can't keep up with her.
So what tips and techniques do you have and that you say? Because I think I resonate more with Vitalia, of course, and then my wife probably is like you, ready to run, and I'm probably even more obnoxious than your wife. I think she's learned some skills I don't have yet.
two simple words, Les. Yes, dear. I just find that agreeing with her is probably the easiest way to have a happy marriage. They say happy wife, happy life, and it's true. But the thing is that she's very intelligent. She's got a great head on her shoulders, and she knows what she wants out of life. And initially I came into this relationship kicking and screaming, but it's like now I put my hands in the air and I say, yes, dear, what next? Where do we go from here?
So I'm laughing at you, and I'm also laughing at the Travis says, "Are you a subscriber to the Secret Way of Thinking?" And then
love that book.
And Stephanie jumps in. Sounds like to live by the law of attraction.
That's true. It's true. The Secret and the Law of Attraction. A lot of people, not enough people know about those two things. And if more people were like that, I think the society as a whole would be in much better shape.
So it's very interesting, Roman. Did you know that there's a secret number 2 out there?
No, I don't.
Okay, so I think you're going to have fun with this one, because I was like, secret number 2? What do you mean? And I watched the movie, and do you know that the biggest problem they had from the first movie, The Secret, was people actually thought they could get away with sitting on the couch and going, kumbaya, and make it all happen. So the second Secret came out with one thing in mind, one purpose, and that was to let people know you have to take action.
Yeah, get off your butt.
I know. I couldn't believe it. Oh, here's a good one. This is from Robert E. Shirtliff. Bob, the website builder. This guy, by the way, has built my personal website, and he is absolutely amazing. But he has the right idea.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And I'll be the first to admit that my wife is probably the smartest person I know, and I don't give her enough credit.
Well, you've done a good job so far on this show, so you're definitely up there. I've got at least 4 check marks for you.
There you go.
This one's good. Great comments and questions by Stephanie. Yep, here we go. Happy spouse.
Happy house. Love it. Yep.
Awesome. Well, Roman, thank you so much. I really appreciate it's just such a privilege and an honor. And I want to take a moment here. Let me get that off of there. And here we go. So Travis wrote in the law of action. Remember?
Yeah, that's the word.
Okay. So I would like to let everybody know that, and this is the best way to get a hold of you.
Yes. And my phone number, which should be following up next, right there. So, yes.
So, and, I think that I can safely say that if you can't answer the question, you'll hand the phone to your other.
Honey, the phone is for you. That's great, Les. You're going to get me into trouble yet.
But before we go, because I just want to say I'm a member of Power Talk Seminars. Can you just tell us a little bit about, what is this? Why, I know Vitalia was here last month, but I really want to give you guys a little shout out here and a little plug, because you've made a difference for me in, I've had some extraordinary training in my life. Working for the personal training and development company, I've had half a dozen coaches, some of who were coaches around the world, and I've had the privilege of them putting a few dents. You can't see it, but back here I've got a couple cuts in my head, and luckily this camera doesn't give you a 360 because I've been had some sense knocked into me over time. But tell me, what would you say is the main reason that people would want to connect with Power Talk seminars? So this is the plug.
Oh, thank you, Les. I appreciate that. Power Talk Seminars. It's a company that was founded by my wife, and I'm more of a silent partner in this endeavor. But it's all right, Les. Enough. All right. So it's basically a club where like-minded individuals, business owners, entrepreneurs, people who want to be professional speakers, have an opportunity to be surrounded by other like-minded individuals and do some business networking, also practice their presentation skills, be able to socialize with other people that might be in the same industry as you. So we meet a variety of times. We have a potpourri of different opportunities for anybody. We have VIP memberships, full-time memberships, part-time memberships. We do pizza programs, we do dinner programs. So if you have a very busy schedule, just go to the Power Talk seminars, and you'll see a link in that website for Power Talk Power Club. And that will get you to the information that, for the club that my wife started regarding professional speaking and different opportunities to get out there and meet other people.
Awesome. And I just wanted somebody threw a little thank you up here with a halo, and I had to say hi to Karen Mastolia. She's one of the lieutenants on my team. And then, of course, just another, because I just love throwing thank you at you. Thank you, Roman. At the end of the day, we have a choice to be happy or miserable, no matter the circumstance.
Well, thank you to you, Les. This was a blast. I'm so happy that you extended the invitation to have me out here, and thank you to everybody who was online today. I'm so glad that my message resonated with so many people here today.
And, this is going to be an opportunity to be able to join now for everybody to join us. So I'm going to let you go, Roman, so that you can head over to the Zoom room, and you'll be met by Travis and all of the people that want to come and ask you a few questions. So thank you, Roman. Really appreciate it. Please say thank you to Vitalia for letting you come and be on.
I will. I'll extend your thanks to Vitalia also.
Take care, Roman.
Alrighty, we'll see you in a.
Awesome. AGC members, be sure to join us in the Zoom room for additional time with our speaker. Market your business, ask for referrals, and build relationships. This is the time to do that. I request that you just come in and pop in and say hello and be with us for a little bit. Now, visit agc.com for our upcoming events. We have, and it looks like I still have a banner up here, so let me hide that. We have now events in Minnesota, of course, Indiana, Iowa, California, Arizona, and Missouri. So please check out our website and come and say hello. Thank you. to Gandhi Wong and Global IT. Wow. During the pandemic, Gandhi was just miraculous. His company was miraculous working with Travis. Thank you for supporting our website and making it capable for our members to create profiles, connect, and direct message. I mean, we had some issues, and Gandhi and his team were amazing. They were able to do things that were, he is a wizard of IT. Check out Gandhi at Global IT. If you are looking for a community to plug into that values motivation, educations, relationships, referrals, and more closed business, join AGC by going to joinagc.com. For only $1 a day, you can become a member. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank all of you until next time, which for St. Paul, I'm just going to take a little quick peek into my calendar here, will be March 25th. So for those of you watching this that are an advocate for the St. Paul AGC Zoom event, please join us on the fourth Thursday at 5 p.m. And I'm going to save the surprise of who the speaker is for you to go to joinagc.com, click on members, and come and visit.
You